guest is an actor, a host, a lover, a fighter, an all-round Renaissance man. And since starring in Who Do You Think You Are, is also 110,000th in line to the British throne. From treading the boards on Broadway to treading on heads as Mick Carter on Eastenders, he quite simply has done it all, and he's here tonight to tell us about having it large in his latest movie, Marching Powder. Please welcome Danny Dyer. Welcome to the show, fella.
Thanks for having me. Let's not talk about politics.
No.
You know?
That's all good.
It's so heavy, isn't it?
It
so
is.
heavy.
There's more interesting stuff to talk about. You've been spending a bit of time in Ireland yourself. Tell us about that.
Oh, I love it. Listen, I love the Irish. How can a whole race of people have charisma? I mean, it's incredible to me. I was here recently. I just did a movie, and I was the only one in it. It was like 90 pages, me on my own, on the phone. It sounds awful, but it's actually a really clever story. But I had to learn 15 pages a day, so I was just sort of staying in the hotel, going to the studio, doing the filming, back to the hotel. I went crazy.
I mean, this sounds like all work, no play, Danny.
Well, I've got to feed my kids, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I'm always grateful to be working as an actor, you know? You're always grateful.
You're grateful, I'm grateful. I was lucky enough to see your new movie last night. This is Marching Powder. Huge congratulations
and you liked
on this.
It?
I did more than like
Thank
it.
the Lord.
I loved it.
Would have been rather awkward otherwise.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Would have been rather awkward because our mutual friend, my friend Nick Love, also directed it. It really, really so good. Tell us a bit about it.
Well, I think that me and Nick, it's our 5th film, and I feel like cinema's become quite elite. And, you know, we make films that are quite authentic, and we're trying to, you know, we're trying to make a film about working-class people doing working-class things, which means there's a bit of swearing in it, but it's different. It's a rom-com. You know, it is a love story, and it's a man trying to save his marriage. It tackles some, you know, quite dark stuff, addiction, masculinity, which is an odd thing at the moment, you know, masculinity. So, you know, we're trying to do it in a way for working-class people. And I think we've pulled it off. You know, I'm really proud of it.
I mean, you should be proud of it. Here is a little clip of Danny in action.
It's not lost on me. What are you doing?
Well, what am I doing?
Stop fishing, you know.
You mean staying in, babysitting, not going to football while you go to an art exhibition with your mates?
You make it less special when you spell it out.
I'm joking. Why are you dressed as Jeremy Corbyn?
I don't want to look out of place.
What am I going to do while you're out?
What you normally do. Wank and play FIFA. Oh, crap. I'm late. Right, please make sure he stays off his screens. You hear me? No screens.
Yes.
See you, comrade.
Very good. I mean, being a Nick Love movie, I knew there was going to be big laughs, but there's big heart in this as well, isn't there?
It's quite tender. And Nick's never really wrote a strong part for a woman before. So, obviously, like, this is our 5th film. Our last... You're all right, mate. I mean, smashing the gaff up over there.
We're just getting ready for Murray Bradley over there.
Our last film was, you know, 15 years ago. And, obviously, The Football Factory was about hooligans and it was very masculine, whereas... You know, this is, like I said, a love story, but she's a really strong woman, alpha, who holds her own. I was brought up by very strong women when I was young, who swore a lot. And, you know, I love women, you know, especially powerful, strong women that hold their own in quite a masculine world, do you know what I mean? So, it's... a couple up there, I can see, look.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's important that women are represented in the right way and not victims, you know what I mean? So, you know, she's incredible, Stephanie, in it, and I needed someone that could hold their own with me. So, yeah, she's great.
Someone who also held their own with you, your own son, Artie.
Yeah, my boy, my actual son.
Your actual son plays your son,
yeah, well...
who's, I think he's 11, is he?
So basically, Nick rang me because it's important that we have this child in it because it's about being a dad or not being a dad, and your actions, if you're not about and you're not engaging with your children, they sponge off you and they start learning bad traits. So, but can you find a 10-year-old kid that's going to be allowed to swear? And they couldn't find anybody, so they would have maybe had to get rid of the role. And so, you know, they asked me if Artie was up for it, and I said to him, look, Art, do you want to be in a film? And he sort of said, well, do I have to go to school? I said, no. He said, OK, I'll do it. So anyway, then I said to him, can you learn some dialogue? And I gave him this little chunk of dialogue, and at the end of it, he swore. So he learnt it within 3 minutes. And he rushed it because he couldn't wait to get to the swear bit because he was allowed to swear. So I don't think I could have done it with someone else's child.
No.
So we've got an amazing bond, me and my boy, and I just made... He had 7 days filming, he came in, and I just made it like we were playing. So it never felt like the pressure of filming, and we just improvised, and it really works, you know what I mean? It's really tender, and I think it's a really strong moment where... And there's a lot of men guilty of this. I babysit him for the first time, and he's 11. So, you know, there's this thing where I don't quite know what to do with him, so we just play, and at the end I cuddle him on the settee and I tell him how much I love him, and, you know, and this is the thing about addiction within this film, is that people don't usually turn back to drugs when everything's bad. It's a myth. It's when everything's going quite well. So this babysitting goes well, and, you know, I'm actually going to put the washing machine on, and I'm about to put my jeans in the washing machine because I think I'm some sort of domesticated goddess. And then I find a wrap of cocaine in my pocket, and I go, it'll be fine. I'm babysitting, I'm a good dad all of a sudden. And that's when the spiral of addiction starts again. So, you know, like I said, we tackle some really serious subjects, but in a light-hearted way. You don't want it to get too heavy.
No, and it's not. I mean, the balance in it is lovely. You're talking there about babysitting. Artie, of course, is your youngest. Danny
Yes.
is your oldest. Danny,
yes,
of course,
she's 28 now, yeah.
who we all know from Love Island and
Yep.
other shows.
Yep.
She's got 3 kids of her own. You're doing a bit of babysitting yourself.
Yeah, I've got 3 grandchildren, and
you've a
I've
special
got
name
twins,
for them?
I've got twins, yeah. Well, we call them the Terribles because they terrorise you, these kids. They're nearly 2, and they're so beautiful, and I love them so much. But she's also got she's also got a 4-year-old. So, you know, 3 kids under 4. When you babysit them on your own, you don't know where to start. Honestly, it's a revelation to me. I mean, she's shattered, Danny, but it's such a gift, twins. But yeah, you know, they tag team my dog. You know, they're obsessed with my dog's arse for some reason. I don't know why. And I mean that in a way where they want to stick things up it. And so one will distract the dog while the other one tries to stick a little EasyJet plane up, or Ryanair, you know, whatever planes, you know, they've got. And, you know, it's incredible for me to watch, because I'm like, why the arse, of all things? I don't... but no, they are a gift. They are, and I'm so lucky to have them. You know, I'm still quite a semi-young granddad. I had a kid at 18, so you sort of get into your late 40s, you become a grandfather, and it's beautiful. I might make the great-grandfather thing. How amazing would that be?
You could well do.
Could do, mate.
You could well do. She's getting married very soon.
Yeah.
Danny. Look at the
I
smile
know, I
on
love
his
it.
face already here. So
I love him so much.
You are very, very happy with her choice of future husband.
I think I'm in love with him slightly.
Okay.
Tell
us who he is.
Well, he plays for West Ham, who is my... West Ham's my one true... Couple of West Ham fans in here, is it? Yeah. Top man. So he's the captain of West Ham, and he's unbelievable, this geezer. I mean, he comes in my house, I take his shoes off for him, and I give him the remote control, and I say, "Oh, mate, this is your house now." And I've never had that before with any boyfriends. You know, I hate them, usually. But he's an incredible person.
This is Jared Bowen.
This is Jared Bowen, his name, and I'll tell you what it is. I've got daughters, and I just want someone to love my daughters the way I do. Like, I want them to worship them and look after them. And let me say that... I think it says a lot about a man that he took on her 18-month-old son. And that says a lot to me about a man. That's a difficult thing to do. And that showed me how much he loved her. So, you know, I love him. I can't wait to give her away, is what I'm trying to say. I still think that he's marrying the wrong Danny Dyer.
So when West Ham win and they come over, then who do you kiss first? Is it Jared or Danny?
I would put the lips straight on him. Honestly. I feel sorry for my other daughter, who's nearly 18, because she can never bring home a man to ever match what that man's done for me. And, I mean, she could bring home a heart surgeon or, you know, somebody who cures cancer. And I go, well, really? I mean, he scored the winning goal in Prague in a European final. I mean, it's just incredible. I couldn't have wrote a better script. He's such a beautiful man, honestly.
You're talking about brilliant scripts there. I loved you in Rivals. So good. Freddie Jones, was that as much fun to be in as it was to watch?
I mean, look at the state of me. I can't believe. Yeah, no, listen, this is just a revelation to me. what a lovely job. I wasn't going to do it. I couldn't do it originally, and they went to try and find the character Freddie, and then they came back to me and said, "Listen, can we make it work?" And luckily, I could do it. So I hadn't read it, but it was Disney. It had David Tennant in it, an amazing producer called Dominic Treadwell Collins, who brought me into Eastenders, someone who I love and trust. And I was like, I'll do it. And of course, it's worked out for me. Like in a way, like everyone thinks I'm like a really good actor all of a sudden. Like, I've been around for 30 odd years. You know what I mean? I feel like I've done some good work over the years. I think either you get me or you don't. But you know, all of a sudden, I'm up for an award at the moment. I'm up against Eddie Redmayne, Mark Rylance, Lenny James, and Toby Jones.
My money's on you.
Well, it's a long shot, but you know what? I'm sort of being accepted by the elite, and you know what? I just go, you know what? How much do I care about that, really? I don't care about being accepted by that lot, but again, it is a revelation to me, and like I said, you just take each job as it comes, and everyone loved a bit of Freddie. I think what it was, there's a lot of people in that show, there's a lot of sex in that show, and people, I try... Freddie's a kind man, and all of a sudden, kindness in a man became sexy, and I don't think we've had that for a long time. I can say that because I've got daughters, and I know some of the twats they've brought home. The ones they fall in love with, the nice boy that comes in with flowers and is going to be loyal and truthful and honest and look after them, they just friend zone them. You know what I mean? They just, I don't know what, you know, that's a good clap, but it's... they always want the boy that's unattainable and who's naughty, and the character Rupert, who's like the sexiest man in the world, you know, all of a sudden, the women seem to be going for Freddie, who's really lovely and a bit cute and a bit shy and, you know, sees women for who they are and stuff. So, you know, and I've got a nutty moustache and a bad wig. Let's have it right. I mean, a throwback. I look like, I don't know if you remember Bob Carroll, Spit the Dog. There must be a few people.
Yeah, no,
he
I
was a
remember
ventriloquist.
that. Yeah, there you go.
And he had a dog that spat at people, but, you know...
It's a strong look.
It is a strong look, and I just think it's a brilliant show. I'm so proud to be part of it, honestly. I watched it like a viewer, because I'm in it, but I'm not in it that much. So when I finally watched it, I was like, wow, this is so good. Like, you know, how am I in this? What a result.
Before we let you go, 40th anniversary of EastEnders. Did you watch the live episodes?
I did watch it, yes.
Yeah?
Well...
Is Mick presumed dead or dead?
I don't know, it's a mad one, isn't it? I do have a lot of people asking me about whether I'm going back, and I'll be honest, I would have gone back if they'd have asked me, and they didn't ask me. I think they got the hump with me there, I don't know why. I've got to say that it reminded me of when I did the lives last time, which was 10 years ago, when we did the Who Killed Lucy Bill, and it was like a week of live, so I was watching it, and I could see their arses flapping, like the fear of when you do lives. And I've got to say, they pulled it out of the bag, and it's so emotional. I love that show so much, but I just felt like I wanted to try and do some other stuff, and I wanted to roll the dice, and, you know, they put me with Janine, and I think when you end up with Janine, you've got to get out before you become... You know she's going to murder you eventually, so I had to leave. But, you know, who knows? Maybe I will go back. You know, if the appetite's still there for it, then maybe bring Mick back, you know what I mean?
OK, well, look... if that happens, Danny, we'd love you to come and see us. Whatever you do, I have a feeling that you're just... we're going to be having you back on this show. I'm going to be introducing you as Sir Danny Dyer. You're going to be playing King Lear. I mean, it's...
King Lear, that's a big ask.
I mean, it's all in front of you. It's all in front of you.
Thank you, man.
Danny, thank you so much.
God bless you, man.
Give it up.
God
Danny
bless
Dyer, thank you very much. Danny's new film, Marching Powder, is out in Irish cinemas from March the 7th.